we're going to put you into groups now so that you can revisit that discussion. And is it possible for you to do that with the discussion or the reading for today? I'm not getting any response.
It's possible, sir, depending on the
Sure, sir. Sure.
Eh?
But it's not possible with me. I didn't read that of today. It was yesterday's one I read.
You can share with somebody in your group will have read.
If you didn't read it, then that is your failure, and you cannot bring the class back because you failed to read what you are supposed to read.
Okay, sir.
So you are required to read that and not to tell us that you did not read it.
Okay, sorry, sir.
So I'm trying to. So we're going to get out into a breakout room right now, and then we will discuss. I think we'll probably have about 2 breakout rooms, and then 2 breakout room might be much, so we might do 3 breakout rooms so that the discussion can go on well. So you will have about 45 minutes to try to cover the materials, and then we'll come back to discuss.
But how do we join the breakout room? Hello.
Hello, Solomon. Are you not in your breakout room?
Yeah,
No, sir.
somehow I was logged out. I accepted the breakout, but no, I think the system logged me out.
Just remember, you are not also.
Yes, sir.
Just remember, which group were you?
One.
Okay.
So, Solomon, where were you?
I didn't observe the group I was, sir. Because the network threw me out before I came back. I noticed that everyone was no longer on the group. Okay, group 3.
Hello, Devin.
On mute like that.
How are you, man? I just want to move to you. Tell Brother Dave to unmute you. Thank you, Brother Dave.
Speak. I'm speaking.
Yes. How are you, man?
Fine, I'm fine, sir. I'm fine.
Glad to see you. Were you part of the session we just finished?
Yes, sir.
Thank God you made it.
I'm happy. I'm happy I can partake.
We thank God. We thank God. It's very good.
Yes,
You're
sir.
welcome, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
bless you. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome back from the group discussion.
Thank you, sir.
We have 3 groups, and we want to, depending on how you want to do your presentation, you may want each member of your group to say something or speak to, or it could be 2 person or just 1 person. But we don't need just 1 person to be talking. A good way to handle it is that we want every member of the group to share a piece of what you learned. And of course, you cannot cover everything that you learned. So you have to move on to the key point. What are the key issues that were being highlighted in the reading? So group 1 is going to start.
Okay, I think I'm in group 1. Okay. With
So who are other members?
Jesumbo and Ajayi.
Okay.
Are we?
Can we go ahead, sir?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
And where do we start, Pastor Dan?
I will be
Pastor Dan.
as you rightly divide the work. I will take the Kelvin on page
9 to 18.
9 to 18. This is chapter 1 of the book. And we, in our group, we're able to discuss the chapter 1, which is writing assignments. And we have learned that to write a very good assignment, we need to take time. We need to take time to plan our writing. Because that will help us to put a lot of things together so that we can come out with a good assignment or good essay work. The output to be good. So in the planning for our writing, we understand in our group that planning is understand our group that the first part of our planning is to understand the question very well. And that's to understand the question of the assignment or the topic we are trying to work on. We need to read and reread again until it is very clear to us what we want to do. And the technique in doing that to have a better, clear understanding of what we want to write is to analyze as we are reading as we read to understand the question. We have to analyze the question very well and compare and contrast, and also criticize the question very well, so that we can have better understanding and to be sure of what we are asked to do.
Remember that your group has 8 minutes. I say your group has a total of 8 minutes, which is supposed to be distributed among the members.
Okay. So sourcing, after understanding, we source for information, and in sourcing for information, we have various points, ways you can search for information: internet, books, using journal article is very important. So we also look at how we can evaluate materials if you're not too sure of the source, by looking at the author, the view of the author, and that. So and the quantity of material also determines the level that you are writing from. Okay, and then writing the essay, you also need to consider 3 parts of the writing the essay, which is the body and the conclusion of what we are writing at. The body of the essay takes more part of the work. So I think I will stop here for Ajayi to take the other part of it, of the discussion.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Am I in the class, sir?
Sorry.
I want to know if my voice is audible enough. So
your voice is heard.
So, in summary, because Pastor Daniel have taken much of the time, both textbook, the Advanced English in the OAU, or what is it called, the abbreviation, let me not convince myself, and the Gary Smith, they are saying the same thing in this chapter. So we are talking about writing, either assignments or examination. And what's so peculiar about these things is the planning. Planning is the important thing we need to note. And in this planning, every writing is involved 3 parts or 3 aspects, which is introduction, body, and conclusion. And how do you get your introduction, body, and conclusion? You start from the planning, you brainstorming, you search for material that can help you. Then you form your topic. If you're not given, then you look for material that is in consonant or saying something relevant thing about your topic, and you're mindful of the important words, the technical words, or what I call important points in your topic, so that one will help you to look for the right and relevant material. Because there are topics that look like there are books that look like your topic, but you don't have the valuable words you need in your topic in there. We don't have it there. So this is what the both text is analyzing. So that is it. I wouldn't go much, because if we start analyzing the one after the other, so the time we have will not be sufficient for us to do the breakdown. But what I want my audience to know, or my colleagues to know here, is that in any writing, either assignment, examination, you have to do your planning, and it's involved introduction, body, and conclusion. There are a lot of things under this, and we have learned much of them in the class, the steps. We have learned a lot of things. But let me quickly talk about writing an assignment. What are the typical assignments? We have things like a paper, a book, report, summary, and all this. Let me just pick summary. There are things that you should consider. The same thing that apply to summary apply to other write-up. The clarity and accuracy. And those are the things you put to consideration. It must be clarified. You must understand. That is why Brother Daniel, Pastor Daniel say understanding. So when you understand, you know you're able to clarify your write-up, your topic. Then it must not be ambiguity. You must not be convincing yourself or convincing the reader. Then you must be you must make it accurate. And there are steps in doing all these things. So most of the steps is what I've mentioned earlier, that understanding. You must know how to understand your topic very well. If you don't know, you can find help for somebody to help you to understand, because when you understand, it will aid your speed in writing. Then you should know how many pages is required of you to write before you start writing, so that you can plan yourself within this page. You will not go and gather information that is above your page or lesser than your page. So when you get a book, you have to skim through it from the top, middle, and down before you now start reading. You should know maybe what you are looking for is involved or contained in that book. Hello, sir, are you with me, sir?
I should ask the class, not only me.
Yes, you are
All right,
audible.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Class,
go on,
can
go
you hear
on.
me, sir?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can hear you. Go ahead.
Don't go ahead.
Yeah,
You're
let
making
me
sense.
go
Up.
ahead.
Your time is up. Let another person. Don't go ahead.
All right.
Okay,
Jump
try to round up.
Okay. In rounding up of everything, when we let me concentrate on summary, because
We need to hear. Is the other member of your group saying something? I think you are 3 or so.
We are 3.
Yes.
Pastor Jesumbo is there. Okay, Pastor Jesumbo, will you take it from there?
Okay. Yes.
Not with you. Pick it up.
All right. Thank you. So I think you've really covered the key part of this assigned reading. So, but just as for emphasis, number one is that planning saves time. So, and when we rush into writing without adequate planning, eventually it's either we lose out of the context of what we're supposed to do, or we take more time. And just like the first speaker have mentioned, the 3 components of planning, which is the body, the structure, the introduction, the body, and then the conclusion. And the author also stresses the need for a clear structure and a well-developed argument, especially with the inclusion of supporting materials. And these materials should not just be any form of material, but material that are rooted in academic research. So rather than opinion, rather than just personal opinion. So yeah, I think that's just what I want to add.
Okay, so we'll come back. I mean, let's move to the next group, group 3, or group 2 rather. Please manage your time well. Manage your time well, okay? Members of group 2, let's know you and then continue. Group 2, are you there?
Yes, we are there. We are here.
Okay.
Pastor Femi.
You start first, since Turebian is first.
Okay. Okay. It's all right. About we talked about data finding. I don't know if we are allowed to discuss that one too, because they only discuss the OAU, be what? So should I go ahead and discuss the?
You are the teacher, so you discuss whatever you want us to know. So
okay, so I will take this one, then Pastor Femi will take the writing assignment and examination. I want to talk about the data findings. Okay. We in the book, it's clearly is stated that our data findings should be very, very accurate. We have to be very careful when we are gathering our facts. Data findings is all about gathering facts. You know, you don't just go into research without having your facts available. So, and then we said it can be used to draw conclusions and also make predictions. And then data findings involves the interpretation of data gathered through the use of analytical reasoning to determine patterns. So while you are gathering your data, there are three kinds of sources that you should use in finding your data. And we talked about the first one is primary sources. And then we said that these are the original materials used to develop, test, and ultimately justify your hypothesis or your claim. You cannot claim to have a good writer without having good facts about that. And then we said that the examples of this, you can get these primary sources can be gotten through diaries, letters, objects, maps, and even clothing, things that are around you, things that you can easily lay your hands on. So that's the primary sources. Then we also have the secondary sources that are used to keep us current, you know, to find other points of view and also to find models for our own research. And we said that they can be gotten from reputable universities, books that are written in by reputable universities, presses, and articles or reports that have been vetted by experts in the field. We are told that there are different fields that we have. So if your own field, if you are finding data from your own field, it has to be from reputable people that have vetted it by experts. So if that is not done, then I think you have to look at it again. Then the third one is tertiary sources. These can be gotten, you know, by, you know, we can get our tertiary sources, which is to make us to understand we are told that in these tertiary sources, it is not something that should be so difficult for us to get. We can actually connect it with the primary and then the secondary sources so that it will make our findings easier. And then in finding our data through this, we can observe the following: search the sources systematically by using the library, reference works, and then also explore online databases. Okay, just like the librarian was telling us yesterday. So we can use the library and then to also get in touch of how to get those references. Then we can also evaluate sources for relevance and reliability. If they are not relevant, if they are not reliable, then you have no, you don't need to bother yourself going there, be sure that you are looking for books most recent. If you know there are some books that are outdated, some content in a book that are already outdated. You have to look for the current books, recent edition, so that it will make your work acceptable and you know.
Let's be time conscious.
Okay, sir. I'm writing it now. Then evaluate sources for reliability. Is the source published by a reputable press? Ask relevant questions. If they are not, that means you have to change your strategy. Then we say that experienced researchers don't read passionately. They engage their sources actively. So as the researcher does that, you have to read generously to understand, then critically engage with the material. Then look for creative agreement to apply a claim more widely. And then in conclusion, I said if the researcher keeps these ways of thinking in mind, then you begin to read, and as you begin to read, you engage your sources sooner and more productively. So it will be your data collection will be productive if you apply all these things that I've said. So I'm going to hand over to Femi so that we'll talk about the other one. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so taking it over from Mommy Esther Kunat, we look at the reading assignment in the Kevin Gary Smith. So page 9 to 18, talking about writing assignment. And we know that one thing that has been emphasized so much is that studying theology at this point, we know that we have been baptized into assignment writing. You have to write assignment. You have been baptized into writing as a whole essay in terms of, term paper, concept paper, and all of the paper, the summaries, the reviews, the reports, and all of you. So what we have been studying and all that we have been sharing so far is just to help us master this particular act of our, academics. We need to succeed in it. We must become, a master in this if we are going to have good grades. So now, so much have been said, concerning this. When you want to write an assignment, the first thing that comes to mind is understanding the questions. Dr. Lakwe said to us in class that there are some keywords also that we look in every topic, in every assignment given to you. You must look out for the action words, the predicate of your topic. What is it talking about? And so, some words were given to us so that we can check them up in the dictionary. If you see the word analyze, what does it mean? It means that you divide all the whole, subject into different sections, and you speak and you write on each of those sections. Compare, you can also use compare means that you bring two ideas together and you look at them, their point of view, the similarities. If it's contrast, you state differences between them. Then if it's criticized, you have to talk about both good and the bad of that subject idea. And you also make your own claim, your stand, you make it known. Now, Mommy Kunat Esther has spoken about sourcing for relevant information. And so let's quickly look at, how to write your essay, assuming you have gotten all your materials and then you have planned, out what you want to write. Now, writing. To write your assignment or your essay, you know that you need three elements: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. In your introduction, one thing you need to be conscious of, three things you need to be conscious of in your introduction is defining any, root words, any main words. Yesterday, Dr. Williams was telling us, he was helping us to identify what are the main words in each of our topics. You remember that it was doing that. It took a lot of time to help us understand what is the main word in our topic. So for you to write, you need to understand that, you need to define it. And then you need also to capture in your introduction, what is there any problem, about what you're about to write, is there any purpose? You make it known, and then you also share a little summary, so about the thesis you aim to develop in the body of your write-up. So coming to the body now, three things are also very important when it comes to the body. You need structure, you need unity, you need argument. So you need to understand these three things. They are very, very important. And don't forget, when it comes to the argument, logic, Doctor emphasizes that logic is what ties everything together and make it to become a beautiful piece. So we need to understand that also. And then for the conclusion, there are some things we need to also understand when it comes to conclusion. You must not introduce any new idea. You must not use any direct quotation, and you must not give detailed explanation. But what you do is that indicate how your main point, fit into the larger field of study. You also explain the implication of your research and interpretation, and make recommendation for future research if need be. So these are the things that you have to take note of. So the last assignment is in the book Advanced English by Ugu Adeniyi and Olaluwoye. So Mommy Bolarotimi, would you help us to take that one up?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. All about the writing assignment. Mrs. Dr. Lakwe, it's about the surface of the book. That the surface have to be divided into 3 equal parts. And the first divided part is to carry the topic, then below, about the last layer of the section, to write your name and other things you want to write. They talk about the preface. That the preface, that you have to go into how all the authors, all the materials gathered for your write-up. That will write them there. Then if it's something that if it's something that is by you, when it says by me, or if there's an article, you refer to the article, the name, the time, and something like that. That's the description I have for it. Hello, am I communicating?
Yes.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, you are. Hello, class. Make sure you respond to her.
Yes, so you are.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
We can hear you very well.
Okay. I hear you clearly.
Right.
And then my Dr. Lakwe also said that in the body, that should be that body that should be subtopic. So that keeps the interest of the readers, because you're not reading for yourself, you're not writing for yourself, for the audience, and the audience are the readers. And you have to be sub-headings, and then and if you want to write Taraban, something say that in each little introduction, the body, and your conclusion, so just like that. Then you want to summary. The summary, you don't need to explain far, and you don't need to bring new ideas into your summary. All what content you have written in your writing have to be short, and that and again your introduction to that your book must be the one. Everything must be in sequence. Not that you pick from here, then you go to Z, then you come back to B. Yeah, everything has to be, as we say, plan. You plan, you arrange sequentially how things. Then people will be carried along with what you are really interested in. People will show interest and to read more of your writings. And And that also said, Dr. Williams also talks about that our materials should be relevant to what we are writing. If it's not relevant, it has to. And again, Dr. Williams said that the area, the topic, that the key point, the key at mind now, that the strategy for military strategy to reach the less privileged.
Strategy, man. Strategy.
Sorry, strategy. Sorry, strategy. That strategy, I was able to explain to the audience the perspective area I want you to concentrate on must be known to the audience. So that we just continue like that, because what it means to you means another meaning to others. But your own focus of writing on that point must be known to the audience, then that will carry them along to flow with your writing. Thank you. Hello?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We got you.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you very much.
I hear you. Yes.
Let's take the third group now.
All right. Let me. I'm going to.
Let's go first.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go first. Then I'll hand over to Reverend Oileru. So I'm going to be picking it from the Advanced English Writing and Study Skill. That there's an aspect of it which we really emphasized in our own group discussions that has to do with the book summary. But prior to that, I'm going to highlight one or two things that the writer said. The writer said assignment and examinations are academic exercise. Any academic exercise that is being given by facilitator or by the lecturer is an assignment, or it's an examination. And in this book, assignment means any task that is being given to students. And then I'm going to go straight forward to the book summary. I'm going to give an analysis on how to go about a book summary, which we discuss in our group. Book summary. When we want to do a book summary, the first thing we need to do is we need to skim through the material. The first thing is we go through the introduction, the introductory aspect of the book. We go through the content of the book. We go through the comments, other people's comments about the book. There are some books that the comments are always at the back, some are always in the front. It is advisable we go through the comment sections of the books, and also going in through the book chapters by chapters. We can read the first aspect of the book, the chapters. The capturing words in the chapters. It's emphasized on what the whole chapter is all about. At times it can be the beginning, at times it can be in the middle of the chapter, at times it can be towards the ending of the chapter. Going through the book chapters by chapters, then before we can now do an intense reading about it. So this will help us to have a overall view of what the book is about, and it will help us to save time. It won't be like you're going back and forth. According to one of the writers said, he said when you just rush in, it will cost you more time. But when you take your time to go through the planning stage, in which you go through the introduction, you go through the author information, the comments of other people, it gives you the overall view of what the book is all about. So I think that is what it takes to summarize the book. Then at the point when you have gone through the book, then you begin to you pick up the main points of the book, then you write it in your own language. You put it down in your own language, the way you understand the perspective of the writer, what the writer actually is trying to say in the book. Then you present your point from that point of view. So that about summary. So I'm going to hand it over to Reverend Oilero from the
Can I
sponsor.
just
Hello. Okay. This is I think I was trying to take notes and edit my notes as the others were talking, so that I won't be repeating what has been said. So let me quickly try and bring in few things that we have not covered. Talking about Kelvin, it was talking about structure. We were told that structure and unity and logical arguments must be the paramount things that we must ensure that we do in the body of our writing. However, what we have not been able to touch is how do we achieve these three things? Structure, you mentioned, can only be achieved by clear headings. You know, you give the chapters have headings, then you can have subheadings under that, and you can have also subheadings under that. That makes for structure, and that helps flow of writing. Then he mentioned the need for unity in our writing. The only way that can be achieved, he mentioned, is when we stay on contents that support the main thesis. We don't begin to just bring things in to just unnecessarily buffer what you are writing. There's got to be things that are relevant. So that is what brings about unity in our writing. Then lastly, we talk about the need for logical argument. And for that to be ensured, he mentioned that there must be, that every evidence and analysis that we bring in must be in line with the central thesis, the central idea that the writer, that you are trying to project. You have to avoid unnecessary additions here and there. That is, I think those things are the things I see that we have not covered. Most of the other things have been covered as far as I'm concerned. Also, in talking, okay, I think this one is the advanced English. Mentioned, one of the sources you mentioned is that of the fact that internet articles are not reliable. But I will be asking a question about that maybe when we come back with Doctor after presentation. So, all right, I will ask that question when we get that. Then on the what also I've seen that we have not touched on in the advanced English is that it mentions about book review. It mentioned about book review, how that we may need to do review of books. And just like what I see Advent trying to do there, or them, there are three of them. What I see them trying to do there is trying to show us the other side of writing, the reading part. How does it look like when you have read, when you have written and people are reading? So when you are reading and you want to summarize, it's the same process as I see it in the reverse. You have to ask yourself, you have to look at the topic and familiarize yourself with it properly and be sure that you get that idea. So that is the thread you are looking at throughout from introduction to the very end. Then next, you have to be sure that, Dave has talked a lot about the process of how to go about it, the body and the rest of them. But one of the things that he mentioned there that we have not touched on is tyrant. He spoke about tyrant, how that there must be, you could actually make every aspect of your writing to have introduction, body, and conclusion, up to paragraphs, that it is possible, just all to give a flow.
How did you pronounce that? Ty what?
Tyrant.
Spelling.
No, I think it's tried.
Tried, yes.
Yes.
Okay, tried. Yeah, tried. Okay.
That's T-R-I-E-D. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tried. Okay, good.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, yeah. So, and that's very interesting to me. And so I know it's going to be a little bit asking, but I think even without having done it, I know it's a guarantee flow, both in writing and more in reading of the work. Now, still on the advanced English, he spoke about, he gave an example of Chimamanda's book, Purple whatever. And was trying to show Purple Hibiscus, thank you, sir. So he mentioned that when you are doing summary of book, number one, you want to know what is the idea that the person is trying to project. You may have to go over it again and again. Then you look for that thread throughout. Now, he now said that there is, in your summary, there must be preliminary part and the main part. The preliminary part is where you mention the name of the author, the title of the book, the main characters, how many pages, how many sections, and the rest of them like that. Then after that, he mentioned the main part, where you now have the introduction, the body, and the conclusion, which we have spoken extensively about. Like I said, I don't want to go through the things that have been covered. Then, I think those are the things that I've noticed that I've been missing. Then in the Turabian, I think one other thing that is just to give more examples of the top sources. Talk about fact books, Wikipedia, bibliography, and I noticed also that there we saw that some of them are both primary and secondary. Sorry, both secondary and tertiary. So that's about it. Let me give room to Brother Dora, if there's any other thing to add.
Okay, sir. Everything has been covered, sir. Thank you, sir. All I just want to do is to just give a summary of all. So there are key things we need to be able to note in our assignment from both readers. One is academic writing, the other is the scholarly writing. And I want to just put it first of all because I'm just doing something like giving a kind of a soft skill of the integral part of our reading. So Kevin Smith made us understand that our assignments should not be treated as a one, or should not be treated just anyhow. He made mention of something called you have to be hasty but yet be low on speed, in the sense that when the assignment is given, the soft skill that is needed more is to sit down, look through the assignment, have an understanding, plan about it. He says if you can do that, you will not need to keep running over your assignment again or having issues of your lecturers or your doctors telling you to go back and do it again. So that time you would have to waste over at the end. Just spend that time wisely right from the beginning. So plan. And when you plan, you see that you have a structure. Then you'll be able to patiently compose your headings, compose the body, and compose the last part of it, as every other person has mentioned. So in this format, it made us understand that there are types of writing. To an extent, I got to see that your writing may either be void academically and scholarly, and it may also not carry any of the two. Like it may carry one and not carry the other. So that is why the structure is actually very, very important in writing scholastically. So which I will end my part on that. And then on book summary, when we are writing the book summary, it's just us to to give a total thought of what the book has spoken about. So our summary should not be written haphazardly. It just has to follow succinctly the structure of that book. Look for the head, look for the introduction, look for the main part, look for the climax, look for the conclusions, and make sure you bring a derivative from each of those, so it gives you a very good summary that can be presented. So thank you, sir. Just to round up everything everybody else said.
Well, that's great. Thanks a lot for that good tying of the whole thing together. Now, looking at what we've had in class and all that we have studied, what did you find different? What question did you have? What did you disagree with? Any point of disagreement with the authors?
Okay, sir. From my hand, I expected something better in terms of definition from the advanced English when it was talking about minute of meeting. I don't know whether I can lay my hand particularly on I can't quote what he said now, but I think that the meaning of meeting he gave is not that clear. It's not that clear. I expected something that will make me to add knowledge to knowledge. So that's one. That's a comment. Now, and the question I have from what we read the other, I mentioned about what do you call it? About internet articles. As we have read that they are generally unreliable. And I'm not contesting your statement. The only thing I want to ask, sir, particularly, is that what of the situation where such an internet article is written by a scholar? For example, if somebody like Dr. Udotong or somebody like Dr. Gary Smith wrote an article on the internet, and we say that it's not really that dependable. That's my question, sir.
Yeah, I don't want you to take that statement out of context, because the point he's making are just open source articles that people just write. For example, articles in a place like Wikipedia, articles that you have maybe in a podcast or maybe on in all of those internet resources. But we have very good, like you saw what Daniel covered yesterday. These are internet resources that are professionally based, peer-reviewed. These are well-researched journals. So he is not applying to that. And so you have to be aware of that there are some academic journals that you don't have any physical copy. You can only get them online. But they are well-researched academic journals. So I don't think he is referring to that. So, yeah.
That clears it. Thank you.
Any other? Yeah, okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. In addition to what he does to clarify the internet article, because when I get to that spot, I paused a little to look at it very well. At the end of that discussion, the author mentioned something that if we cannot trust the source and they have the temptation to use such a write-up, or we cannot trust it. So the author gave an evaluation model, how we can evaluate source that information that we don't trust the source. So he gave us some evaluation techniques. And one of them is that if you look at the identity, the identity of the author, who are the person that have written the article, if we are skeptical about the source. So I think if we follow that evaluation process, we're able to, like he said, that Dr. Udotong can write something, blog, like on the internet, without being published in a reputable, identified publisher. So you can put up something just like in a newsletter that has not gone through a proper peer review. You can put up an idea there, maybe idea cut out from a work that you have done in the past, and you feel like, okay, let me put this idea in, put this portion of writing in this platform. So with that, we can look at that statement and look at the author, look at who has done this and where is the person coming from. So we can base an judgment on that evaluation.
That's correct.
Thank you.
The sources must be evaluated. Okay. Okay. One of the things I want to remind each and every one of us is that you should remember that you have to, there were points that were being made that we have to talk about. You know, part of why you're having this reading is to help to drive home the things that we have been covering in class, so that you get more clarity from different sources. Sometimes we don't take our reading serious, but I want to encourage you to do. And remember that for every one of the reading and the assignments, you have to make sure that you submit them as it is in our syllabus. You have to make sure that you complete them and turn them in, because if you want to be a good Christian leader and a good Christian writer, a good Christian scholar, then everything that we have been saying from critical thinking down to what we are studying today, then you must take them serious. Yes. If you don't take them serious, you can still write and pass exam and pass this from the school, but frankly, you will not be able to make input that is valuable to the Christian world and the Christian community. So, it all depends on what you are really out to do and what you are out to accomplish. The book summary was clearly pointed out there that you don't just lie on your bed and decide this is what you want to do. Even your book summary must be carefully thought out about what you want to, you know. Tomorrow when we meet, one of the things I'll cover with you is how to write a book, how to critique a book. Like Dele was trying to do, trying to point out what he saw was a weakness in the way that the material or minutes was presented. That is one way that you can critique, you can do a critique of a book, looking at some things that have not been taken care of, written properly or done well. With the hope that could serve, to improve on the book. In the past, I have always asked master students to do a critique. One of the assignments is to do a critique of the Advanced English textbook. Okay, so I want you to keep that in mind, that you can improve yourself. You know, there are some of you you are intelligent, you are bright, but your problem many times is that you don't want to sit down to think through things, write them, review them, and make sure that you get something that is unique and superior. So I want you to understand that it's important for you to keep in mind that you don't just want to come to school and be at school and then at the end you go out of school. We want you to go out there and make an impact, make a difference. So both in your writing, if you write, whether you write to our lecturer is teaching you from the US, or we are teaching you, when you write an assignment, they know that this person understands what he or she is writing. You are not just somebody that just write anything you want to write and just send it in. And you need to understand, like I've been said, that good writing takes planning. I spent a lot of time yesterday to talk about planning from the point of your topic. From your topic, you try to analyze the topic and know the area to search for material. And from that, you can now look at draw up your content of what you want to cover. And then you go out looking for literature based on that. Without planning, you cannot, and you will not be able to write a good paper. You know, those of you who sit down till the last minute and the last hour to write your paper, or you always prepare your sermon to preach on Saturday night. So you stay all through the week. You don't have something that you are praying and God is laying in your heart. And then you start preparing and making research and checking different material. And then all you wait for is on Saturday evening. And then you may preach a sermon, but preaching that will make impact in the life of the people, I mean, it's much more than that, you know? So I want you to understand that we are not joking, and that is part of why we are placing this emphasis. We want to build, want to build scholars. And if you are just a carefree, haphazard kind of person who don't pay attention to things, well, there's just no way that you are going to really make that kind of value or contribution. But we don't just want you to come out through the school and go through the school, do one assignment or the other, and then off you get a degree and go. So that is that. Okay. Any other concluding question or statement?
Okay, sir. I just wanted to add to, because like you stated, you mentioned it already, so but I just spotted the difference that it's always good to
who is speaking, please?
Ajimati, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't have to state that it's also okay looking through different texts and different writings, you know, to be able to learn more. You know, I'm trying to cite the difference, a particular difference between this textbook, Advanced English, and that of Kevin Smith. You know, we made mention of something we call triad, and you know the structures of writing. So in a way, I felt Kevin Smith's books, the Kevin Smith's writing rather gave a very more profound way of writing than the Advanced English. So if I now ask myself, what if I am only limited to Advanced English textbook? Would I be able to do something so well or better? So which brings to clear the reason why we need to check through many writings, check through many books, and then be able to come out with something unique and different.
Very, very nice and thoughtful point. You know, many times, those of you who are students, when we give you this required textbook to read, some of you think that, oh, we are punishing you. Oh, why are they troubling us? We have to, you know. But understand that our definition of required textbook are textbook that you must read, you must finish reading them before the end of the course, you know. And why do we have that? Because there are perspective, you know, that you learn. We would have said, okay, we just want to give you Smith alone. But if you have Smith, there are other things that you would have missed, you know. So, and that is a part of what, you know, we are emphasizing. And I mean, a lot of some of you here may have gone through I mean, institution, and so you may be wondering, and so why are they putting so much emphasis? This is supposed to be a theological seminary. We should just come and do the things that we want to do. No, I didn't get my master's degree that way. I didn't get my doctorate degree that way. You know, I didn't get it by the roadside. I didn't spend you know, 3 months to get it. You know, it was a lot of hard work. I mean, for 4 years, you know. So so if you want to be, and it's that part of preparation that we get, that we try to emphasize the need for you to make sure that you get this kind of preparation and distinguish yourself as a Christian leader and a Christian scholar. We shouldn't think that being a Christian gives us room for mediocrity. Being a leader gives us room for just anything goes. And many times we give anything we want to give to our congregation because they don't have a way of questioning us or maybe challenging us. We continue to go that way. We are not growing and they also are not growing because either we are running after too many things here and there. We can't sit down for some time for 2 hours and keep the phone off from us. We do the easier thing. The easier thing to do is to talk on phone. The easier thing to do is to text, you know, do your texting. But when it comes to the hard work of sitting down, reading, can I put this phone on silent for the next 1 hour or 2 hours? We don't want to do that, you know, but it's part of our process that when we can spend that time in privacy, reading and developing ourselves, then you see that we'll get out there to be people that can contribute and add value to others' life, to the life of our congregation, you know. So, we want to, we'll end there. We'll still come back to do our reading for this day. We want to take now a 10 minutes break, and when we come back, we'll come back by 12:35. So let's have our bathroom break and take water if you need to, and then you come back, and then I'll have to cover some materials. Please don't go far away. Let's don't look for you, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Maybe we can stop the recording since we're on break.
Yes.
It's still recording. Yes. Maybe pause it.
I thought they are controlling it from there.
You still recording?
Yeah, tell, are you in the school?
No. I'm not in the school.
It doesn't make a difference, sir. Let them leave it. It's better to leave it. They can
Okay.
always cut it off.
Okay.
We just continue later.
Okay, are we there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is everybody back?
Hello, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good to see your face there, David. It's always good to see your face to be sure that you're alive.
I am, sir. I am,
So
sir.
that's Queen Esther. That's Bola there. Oh, Funke, you are coaching Bola by the side.
But Ajibati is not yet here, sir.
Eh?
But Ajibati is not yet here.
Okay, please let him come.
Okay, sir.
Ibrahim, welcome. Nico.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, and
Well
well done,
done.
everyone. Yes, sir.
Okay, now we want to get back to Clara. Remember that all that we have been doing is basically to prepare us to get to the point where I mentioned yesterday that by now I expect you to start picking your books or your material you want to use. Has anybody started gathering materials?
Yes, sir.
Good, 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 good. So I have some very encouraging word there that somebody is at least looking at materials. And like I encourage you, the way to do this thing is to do it. Don't allow it to sleep. Because if you allow it to sleep, then it'll be there. Now, I'm trying to share my screen. Can you see my screen? No.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, we can see. Yes, we can see.
Okay, so that is gathering resources for your paper. You see that?
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
when you're gathering resources for your paper, so first of all, you don't even have to arrange it in alphabetical order, but you are getting to the point where you are picking the books. Now, what I want to point out to you is that you have to have a paper and a pen where you make sure that you write the names of the author or the name of the author clearly. The year of publication is clearly written. And then you have to look at what it is, whether it is a journal. See, this first one here is International Review of Management and Business Research. So that means it's a journal, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
it's a journal, and then note, you have the volume of the journal, volume 5, number 1. Most journal will always tell you what volumes they are, whether it's volume 5, number 1, or number 2. And then the page number is very important, because if you have an article in a journal, it will be good for you to make sure that you have the page number. And all of the materials that you are gathering, you must make sure that you have a page number of, because you are not going to use all of the textbook. You have the textbook. There are particular section of that textbook maybe just a definition. So it's important that as you gather your resources, you will take note of the pages, the relevant pages. Because if you don't write it down, by the time you want to start doing your next thing, you'll forget them. You'll be wondering. And by then, if you don't have them, you may have to go back to the library again or go back online. So every time you check for resources online, you must make sure that you get those information. Get the name of the author spelled very well. Get, if it's the title of the book, you get the title of the book, properly done. Like you see here in this third one, Allison M. and K, the title of the book is Strategic Planning for Nonprofit Organization, a Practical Guide and Workbook. Published, the name of the publisher is John Wiley and Son Chapa. And then they are using chapter 1 of the material, page 1 to 20, and also using chapter 8, pages 229 to 309. So you have to be very, very specific. When you just copy the whole textbook and put it there, when I look at it, I will conclude that you are trying to play academic fraud. You are trying to play academic fraud, or you're trying to play smart. Because just putting a whole book there or a whole journal doesn't give much information about the fact that, oh, have I really looked into this material? Have I really looked into it? And do I really understand the area or the section that I need to use? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Very well, sir.
So, and remember, we have said that pay attention to journals. Journals they should have more journals in what you are doing, and journals should be more than textbook, and the textbook that you have should not be all outdated textbook that were written in the 60s and were written in the 40s. Some books in the 40s or 60s could be relevant if you are trying to look for a definition or trying to trace a history of something. But in general, the more recent they are, the better, it is, and it gives more credibility to your work and to your writing. So this is what you do as soon as you notice that the assignment require you, to gather at least 7 minimum. You could have more than if you want to, but basically we want you to deal with at least 7. So this is what it means for you to gather those material. You first of all list them out. You carefully look for them. You carefully list them out and make sure that you are sure that those materials speak to your topic. Those materials speak to your topic, what you are writing or what you are looking at. And so from there, you can now be sure that you have your materials properly selected. Does that make sense? Because I'm going to move now to the next thing, which is annotated bibliography. Do you have any question on this?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, please. After you, I come.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, sir, my question is, what year of range should be our standard in trying to go back quoting textbooks or going through journals?
Well, mostly if we are, it's not that we have the appellation or developed country, 10 years should be, within 10 years should be it. In fact, some are even restricting it to 5 years now. Daniel, I don't know what it is now. Daniel, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So 10 years within, and then, but we understand that we are in a context of development.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we can allow you to look at 20 and, you know, so, but like I said also that there are some books you could use, even though they are old, they are still relevant to your work. Could be a Bible commentary that you are looking at. It could be, you know, so it could be a material that help you to explain a particular history. So it's not that we are outrightly condemning, but when you have too many of that into your work, it raises a red flag as to whether you are really current, because writing means that you have to be current with what is going on in the field. So does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes.
I think you said it all. You said it all anyway. But I think the topic one is working on, it also determines it also determines how far one can consider using up to, I think, up to 20 years.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think majorly is between 5 years, then can extend to 10 years. So for the topic that has to do with history, and that 20 years must be considered. But if somebody is working on contemporary topic, then going too far, it may not be a good.
10 years, you know, should like it. Okay. Any other questions? So,
I was going to ask.
Yes.
I was going to ask whether the way we list the journals and the articles are the same with the textbooks. Is there any difference in how we write them?
Remember that now we are not talking about arranging it. Now, what I'm showing you this is your jotter. You are just in the library jotting
just
things.
like brainstorming session for ideas.
Yeah, this is what you are looking at. And in gathering resources, sometimes you may have on this list, you may have more than up to 20. So which you may decide to select maybe 7 or 10 out of it, you know? So that's why I said that it doesn't even have to be in alphabetical order at this point, because you will get to a time when you need to to get that, you know, arranged. So now you know your topic, you know your content, you know what you are searching for. So you are in the library searching. And so that is what I asked you to do. I said you should be able to list and submit your resources. So if you have those resources, then you have a list of what you are working on. So now it's from this list that you can now start looking at what we call annotated bibliography. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes, sir.
yeah, so one of the things from that list that you have, you now transition it to write what we call, or do what you call your annotated bibliography. And I want you to note that this is this takes a little bit of your time, because what is annotated bibliography? An annotated bibliography is a list of the sources you intend to use for your research, with brief annotation for each that describe the source's content and summarize its main argument. Annotated bibliography provide a comprehensive but focused overview of the critical discussion on the topic. So, so what is happening here is that I have shown you the list, which you have listed out. Now you are adding annotation into that list that you already have. And what are you going to add on that list? You already have your author, you have your year of publication. Now you are looking through the book. Maybe you are skimming, you're scanning, you are going through the book and you are asking questions, okay, how does this journal help me to solve my problem? Remember that at this time, you already have a jotter of you have analyzed your topic and you know what you are searching for. By this time, you have your content, table of content prepared. So with that table of contents, as you are looking at your search in the library, whether physical library or online library, you are looking at the ones that are relevant. So, okay, you can say that, okay, book number 1, page 39, it will help me to understand the definition and the meaning of mental health. It will help me to understand the meaning of the Great Commission. It will help me to understand, the meaning of maybe the
exam malpractice.
Yeah, the exam malpractice, for example. So here at this point, you are moving into more details. So you write a brief annotation for each of them. So what you'll be doing and you'll be submitting to me is that for each of the list of entry that you have, you are going to do a brief annotation. Sometimes there could be a couple of this thing that you have to write. But so you describe the source, the content of what you're writing about. It's coming from this author. Maybe it is one author, maybe it is a single author, maybe it's from a journal. Already you have information about the journal, and then you have the page. So you look at for the main argument. So you can say that this chapter, page 49 to 50, summarizes the meaning of divorce, for example. This summarizes the meaning of teenage pregnancy, for example. So you have to do this for each of them. So you can look at it and say that, well, this particular author argues that when this and this happen, this is going to cause mental problem, you know, among couple when this and this happen. So you have that kind of a situation that we you know, that you are looking at, you know. So you can see there that it deals with an overview of the source's main discussion. It gives a summary of the thesis argument and a summary of the thesis argument and a description of the usefulness of the source for your own research. So this section or pages will be relevant in me answering the defining my work. You know, it will help me to understand the advantage and disadvantage, you know, of these things. So those are the things that you will include in your annotated bibliography. So does that make sense?
Very well, sir.
So you have that, and so what is the purpose? What purpose does it serve? Well, the purpose is that you learn about a particular topic through critically reviewing the literature. So instead of just carrying any kind of book, it narrows you to the topic. It provides an overview of the main issues and arguments and research within that particular area. So that helps you to clarify things so that you can look at the book and say, okay, this book will be relevant, or this one will not be relevant. There's no point wasting my time and my energy on this. So I think that you keep that, you know, in view, but it require you to go into the text and really pull out what is relevant, for you in the distance. So you notice the step. You gather your materials, and then you put them into annotated bibliography form. Because when you put them into annotated bibliography form, then you are ready to start doing your literature review. So you notice that the first step in preparing annotated bibliography is to identify your sources. List out your sources first. That is what I've already shown you. You know, you first of all list out those sources, and so that is the first step, you know, that you take in ensuring that you get it you know, identified. And you could, I you can, if you have time, you can watch this YouTube this thing that I put here, so that can be of help for you to to understand. I have covered that in a very short period, but let me remind you that the two most demanding part of your work right now is annotated bibliography and how you transition that into a literature review. So, and you can ask any kind of question about it, but the taste of the pudding is in the doing. You have to go and do it. So I think that you can look at that and ensure that you pay attention. Okay, so that is that. I don't know if you have any question regarding that. But that is easier for me to explain than it is easier for you to do.
Yeah. Sir, my question, my comment is that for a thorough work to be done for annotated bibliography, I want to check with you whether I'm understanding what you are saying correctly. It means that it's not something that can be done in a hurry, because that means you must have gone through the material. It's not something you go to library today and come out tomorrow and say you have finished your annotated bibliography. I think at least you must have gone through the material. Then you now pick the relevant parts before you can now include it in your annotated bibliography. That's where I see it. I don't know whether it's that.
Well, it all depends on the different things you are writing. If you are writing a thesis, whether master's, then in Manda. But remember that in this particular case, you need seven resources, journals and textbook, and maybe any other relevant resources. So one of the things that you should note in the reading that you have done is how to take notes when you read. And when you go to the library, you don't go and collect all the books there and stack them in front of you. Yesterday we were shown how we can check for books. And then when you pick a particular book, you do a general skimming. The opening page, the back page, you look at the content. Is there anything that you find in the content that is relevant? If yes, then you pay attention to do a skimming through it and then do some deep reading in order for you, to be able to get my point? Do you get my point?
The sun was out for about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I was saying that you got what I just explained, that different in this particular assignment. That's why I told you that I'm limiting you to a number of days. And if you note in the syllabus, I gave you, I think, maybe 2 days or so for you to be able to get 2 or 3 days for you to gather the annotated bibliography, because I know it takes a while. So the assignment you are doing is not an assignment that require you to you are like the people who have always been doing this assignment, they will always do 10, but I try to get it reduced so that you have opportunity to face it and then get it done on time, you know.
Another question, sir.
Yes.
Will it be right if I say that in trying to write your annotated bibliography, I think some of the materials you had picked originally might be edited out in the course
Maybe.
of the annotated.
Maybe what?
Maybe taken out of your list.
Yes,
when
that's
you
right.
When you reevaluate the usefulness.
Certainly. Certainly. Okay. That's why I said that your list, even though you are looking for 7, your list might be up to 15 or 12 because there are some of them you will take out because they are not, you look at them back and forth, you say, well, this is really not speaking to my issue. So you take them out.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I want to applications are.
Yes, I'm hearing.
So, all right. So for the annotated bibliography, is it going to still be like is it going to come in to feature as our reference or our bibliography in the main work, or is just going to be our personal?
Absolutely. That I use the word transition.
Okay.
You say you are transitioning from the resources you gather, you transition them into annotated bibliography.
Okay.
Now, is this same material that you are going to transition into your literature review?
Okay.
But they are all presented differently.
Okay, sir. Okay,
because
sir.
the way you present annotated bibliography, information there is different from how you write your literature review.
Okay, sir.
And all of what you have gathered, eventually that is what will become your references at the end.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. So that means we are not going to have references and annotated bibliography separately.
No, when you are doing your concept paper.
Yes, sir.
Your concept paper is going to have literature review and is going to have references.
Okay.
What are you going to use to do your concept paper? Is this material that you are gathering?
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense?
Sir, can I come, sir?
No, let me come. Did I answer your question? Not just...
I didn't get you well, sir.
That's what I want to come.
So what was your question?
You know, I'm talking about the referencing. You know, when we finish writing the paper, you will have references. I'm asking, are we still going to have bibliography separately? After
you finish writing, you are going to have references.
Yes, sir.
And your references is going to be this same material you are using in your annotated. By then, you will arrange them in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
You don't have to arrange annotated bibliography in alphabetical order, except you choose to.
Okay.
Sir, if I understand the purpose for annotated bibliography, could it be that it's not even exactly part of the writing, but it's part of planning and preparation, especially for you as the supervisor or the facilitator to know that the writer knows what he's doing? Because I don't know whether. Okay, go ahead, sir.
From both ends. One, when you start writing your literature review, you don't have to look for any other thing again. All that you do is to look at your annotated bibliography and you get materials there to do your literature review.
Yeah.
So
what I'm saying, sir. Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay, what I'm saying is that annotated bibliography is not actually going to be part of the final writing. It is the references that's going to be part of the writing.
If you do the annotated bibliography well, you will just extract material from there to use for your literature review.
Okay.
So both the material and the content is, you are not just doing it for the sake of doing it, but you are doing it because when you start your literature, instead of going to the library to go and look for this, all of that, if you do the annotated well, you should be able to extract materials from there and then do your literature review.
Sir, last question on this matter. Or let me throw this out so that let me just join this. Now, what I'm saying is that the annotated bibliography is just the reference at the end will be just the list as we have been taught before now, aside of the annotations. I don't think the reference at the end carry annotation, which I doubt. That's what I want to clarify.
Which reference now?
No, at the end of the writing.
At the end of what?
At the end of the work, when you have done your conclusion.
Are you talking
we are
about
your references?
Are you talking about your concept
the stamp paper? Yes, concept paper. Yes,
sir. The concept paper.
Yes, sir. I'm saying that when one is done, at least the references will be there. And when one is done with the conclusion, these are the references. What I'm not saying is that that list, the references will. I'm saying that one is just like annotated bibliography minus the annotation, or will the annotation still be there?
Well,
I think
bibliography.
Can we listen first of all?
Okay.
Can we listen? I told you that you transition from, first of all, you gather your materials, eh?
Yes, sir.
And I showed you an example how you gather your materials. And then you move to the next state of adding your annotation. So those material resources that you've gathered, that is what you will take to your references without annotation.
Exactly, that's my point.
There will be no annotation to it. That is what
constitutes
your
references.
Your references.
Exactly. Thank you.
And we'll prefer you to call it references, not bibliography.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between bibliography and referencing. Bibliography means that you can include things that you have read, but
they are not cited.
They are not cited. But references, we want you to cite. If it is 10 books you cite in the work, we want to see those 10 books in the references.
Yeah.
Okay, Daniel.
You have clarified the issues regarding what is his name? Is regarding what was asking. So I think he was confused that preparing annotated bibliography and moving to the concept paper. I think you have clarified that.
Okay. So
yes, sir.
Who is that? Go ahead.
It's David, sir. David, sir. So I want to have a more clearer view of the whole thing. After when we have gotten our topic, then we go ahead to gathering of resources. How do we table out our table of contents? Is it are we using our resources to draw out our table of contents, or what? I'm confused at that point.
Why are you confused? Were you not in class yesterday? Can anybody contribute to this question, please?
Because I think table of contents comes before before even you start the proper writing.
So table of content is at your planning phase, David. We said that, remember what we said yesterday in class, you analyze your topic.
Okay.
And when you
Okay.
analyze your topic, you now get to the point and say, okay, this is what I want to cover. Yesterday we wrote on the board, we wrote introduction, we wrote explanation or definition of some terms, and then we
Thanks.
come down to literature review. And then we said that even before you get to that, you have, that will help guide you in what material you were using. In fact, that is part of the planning process that we have talked about. You know,
Okay, all right.
part
I'm
of the
clear now.
planning process that we have talked about. So with that, you are going into whether you are searching a physical library or online, you are not just beating about the bush. You know what you are looking for. Okay, my topic includes me defining what a campus youth is or what youth ministry is. My topic will involve me, to look at the impact of this and that. So based on that, you already you are more focused because you have planned your content, you know what you are looking for, you are more focused. You are not just rushing here and there, to be looking for this thing. So from that, your selection you make in the library, from then on you start giving your annotated. Okay, this is written by Gary Smith. So Gary Smith in this book define what a theological research is about. Gary Smith in page 35 to 40 explain what a theological research is. And so you are saying that, well, this section will be relevant to my concept, to my paper, because it throws more light into what a theological research is, So those are the kind of details that you have in your annotated bibliography.
Yeah, it's clear,
Hello.
sir. It's clear now.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
One of us, I didn't remember the person, asked a question then, but I think while you are talking, you didn't get down to the question. Like, I want to do annotated bibliography on the books I've gotten. Now, some of those books did not cover entire data or information I needed, but there are sums. Is it those sums, the page that contain those sums, or the area that contain those sums? That is where I will noted under the annotated bibliography, or does it really necessary I say everything that contains in the book, or the area that really concerns what I was doing?
Can anybody answer that question?
Very well, sir. Very well. Can I go ahead, sir?
Yes.
Well, his question is whether when he collects the books and whether the book, there is no book, the book does not have to be relevant to your study in every aspect. That's why you put the pages that are relevant in your annotated bibliography and in your references. So you pick from what is relevant, and you tell us in this book, maybe it's 450 pages, pages 20 to 21, and 300 to 356 is where I get this idea from. I got this definition from page 25. And that's all. The whole book does not have to be relevant. I think the central idea of the book may not even be the only thing that you are looking for. the relevance of that content to what you want to write. So you don't need to, the book doesn't have to be 100% what you need before it can be included in the bibliography. That's my understanding, sir.
All right, that is what I want to assure, sir.
Yeah, so now can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What do you read there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sample of annotated bibliography.
Yeah, somebody need to remind me so I can send all of these things to you. Now, look at this number 1. Now, this is the same material that I showed you when it was just a list without annotation. Do you remember that we talked about International Review of Management and Business Research? Do you remember that?
Yeah, very well, I do.
So it was volume 5, page 315 now. So this is my annotation, you know, so you make this annotation and how that is relevant, you know, how it is related to your work. So you do that for that first one. This is the second one again, followed by your annotation. In this journal, the authors identify implementation of strategy as one of the most difficult things to do as it is to change organization. So this is the other one. Chapter 1 looks at this. Sometimes some might be longer than the other. And so this is a sample of how your annotated bibliography will look like. So you have annotation and entry, you know, for each of what you have the material that you have gathered. Notice in this one, you have the name of the author, you have the year of publication, then you have the particular page that you are looking at that you think will be relevant to what you want to write. Like I said, some might be longer, like this one is shorter. So that is typically what you find in annotated bibliography. So this is what you will do, and this is what you will submit. So it is from this annotated bibliography that we are going to transition to literature review. So when you are writing your literature review, you are more or less now focusing on looking at what you have and the entry you have made in your annotated this thing. So you get this material to review your literature. And like Esther was asking, when you come to your referencing, by the time you remove all of this annotation, you get your references organized in an alphabetical order, and that is what will become your reference at the end. So the process paper, let me remind you again, is helping you, you know, to gather material regarding the concept paper. And that is what, you know, you are going to really experience, you know, as you move on. When we meet tomorrow, we have to talk more about the literature review and a few things that you have to take note in writing a literature review. And then, of course, bringing your paper to a conclusion. So I think that is what I want you to take note of. And I want you to to think about the whole process, you know, as it's been explained, and understand, you know, how that whole process works. Are you confused enough?
So let me make an attempt.
We are clear.
Let me make an attempt to summarize everything.
Well, don't make an attempt. I don't want your attempt to confuse anybody. Good enough. Go ahead with your. Go ahead.
Yes. So, from the topic, we analyze the topic. The topic will give us the framework for the content. Now, the content list. Imagine what you are teaching us now and what Dr. Ekubo did here 2 days ago. The introduction should be about 10%. So assuming the paper will be 10%, will be 10 pages. So 10% of 10 pages will be 1 page for introduction. 8 pages, which is 80%, will be the main body. Then 1%, which is 1 page, will be the conclusion. So from there, we'll move to the list, making a list of the resources. Out of the whole list, we now summarize between 7 to 10 materials, out of which we craft out the annotated bibliography, and then do the literature review from it, and then draw out the citation and the reference from the annotated bibliography.
Yeah, so that is correct. And that's why I said that part of what we'll be doing tomorrow as we conclude our class is to make sure that we focus more on the literature review, just to be sure that you know what you are extracting and how to build. Because like I said, even the 80% you are talking about, a lot of that 80% will be in the literature review. You know, a lot of that 80% will be in the literature review.
Yes.
So that is why we need to look at that. But I think that you've had sufficient for today to think about. So you don't accuse me of overloading you. I think we can, somebody's probably writing something on my page, or maybe I might the one writing, I don't know. But somebody's dragging something. Okay.
I think should be from your hands.
That's what I'm wondering. Maybe I'm doing something that
it's not you, sir. It's from my end, sir.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's from my end, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. So, so in the absence of any other question, I want to leave you to go and work because you have work to do.
Yeah.
If you go and sleep, it will not help you. And if you abandon this book after now and go and rest, it won't help you. If you say that souls are perishing, so now I have to go to Kafanchan, it's not going to help you. Souls are perishing, you must also pay attention to developing yourself so that you can be a good person. So when you devote this time for your study, don't see it as if you are committing sin for devoting time to study. Understand that God wants you to develop yourself. God wants you to be your best. And if you have all of the anointing in the world and you can't think logically and write logically or preach logically, you will be making nonsense of the anointing. You will be making nonsense of the Holy Spirit. Okay? When you have anointing and then you can deliver a good logical sermon that people listen and said, oh, you have put in some thoughts and hard work into this, you know. So anyway, I want to encourage you all to understand that that is part of the decision you made to come to ACTS. You may have well make the decision to go to FATE. There is one FATE in Ottawa where you can get your degree in 3 months. You know, in fact, you can get a master's and a doctorate for 6 months or 3 months. You may have well make your decision to be there. But if you make the decision to be here, there is no cutting of corners, because you won't cut the corners too long, and we will catch up with you. So I want to encourage you. Like I said, I'm sure that you all are intelligent and bright people, but intelligent people who don't work hard, you know, will become poor. Poor mentally, poor academically, poor in every area of their life. Because you are intelligent, you are bright, but you are a poor person. You are intelligent, but you cannot sit down for an hour to read, study your Bible, study your textbook. You are always, in a hurry and in a move, and you will not accomplish what you are supposed to accomplish. So I want to encourage you to take your time. Understand that we are not joking. We are in for serious business, and it requires that you earn whatever you want to. You have to work hard to earn it. If you don't work hard, then don't want to earn it. So I want you to have a nice day, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Let's try to be on time at 9, because I want us to close early. I want us to close. It will start on time so that we can close early. If we can finish at 1 or finish at 1:30, then we should be fine. Did I see somebody raising up the hand?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I was going to ask, we've been talking about body, so by introduction, body, and conclusion. But this body is also, we are inside the body, we have literature review, we have other things. I think this writing we are doing now, this concept paper, is not going to follow all the demarcations of the body in terms of literature review. Then you now do your experiments or your findings, then you do analysis, then you do conclusion and recommendation. But I'm asking, are we going into that tomorrow?
I will cover that tomorrow, and I will show you an example of a concept paper tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll do all of that, and then I will also show you some example of a concept paper. And then all of these materials I've shared, we'll try to upload and post them for you so that you can make sure that you have access to them and to guide you appropriately.
Please, let's use the opportunity to remind the librarian to send the materials, the list that he promised yesterday to us.
Okay.
Mr. Daniel, please do that as soon as possible.
All right. I want to see all of your smiling
I'll
faces.
do it right away. Thank you for reminding me.
I want to see all of your smiling faces before we conclude.
You already won the competition when we started. There's no need to.
Well, maybe Queen Esther or Bola may win this time. You can. So because you can't always predict women, they can always beat you with their smile and laughter. Okay. I can't see Jesumbo. I can't see Femi. Maybe Femi is still enjoying the wife's. Hello, Bishop Jesumbo. Where you there now?
Maybe the restroom.
It's like you are in the forest, though. It doesn't look like you. Where are you? Are you in Lagos? Is that Lagos background or what?
He's muted. He's muted.
Mute, sir. You are muted.
Unmute yourself.
Jesumbo, where you there?
Unmute, sir. Unmute.
Okay. Yes, I'm in front of the house. Yeah, so it's just the fence.
Okay. You know,
Yeah.
Lagos houses don't have trees around. All we see is high gates.
Oh yeah, in most parts.
Except you are somewhere in Ikorodu, those areas, then you can see some of those areas. Anyway, I appreciate you all for being around, and let's try to be 9 a.m. tomorrow. Just try to be there, and then we'll try to round up and finish. Keep up with your reading. Keep up with your process assignments. Thank you very much. Let's pray. Father, we thank you so much today for our time together. We appreciate you for all that we have learned today. I commit each and every one of us into your hands. I pray, Father, that you will keep us, you will watch over us, and you will take care of us in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you, faithful Father. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
You have any question?
Thank you so much, sir.
Send it to my WhatsApp, okay? All right.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.